Toyota's latest, most hip design because it's originated from a Japanese design. Unlike Honda, where they're going a Euro sportback design, we're going more futuristic for the 2023 Toyota Prius. This is the XLE in Guardian Gray. We're here at Toyota of Wesley Chapel to show you what is so good about this vehicle. Starting off with LED headlamps, daytime runnings. This is a bi-LED headlamp assembly. I like the 90s and futuristic style that implements into the grille underneath the Toyota badging because it's very sleek and, again, Japanese design. Whenever you're looking at these type of vehicles, you're typically thinking it's going to look like a spaceship. Well, they've taken it to the next level because we're going to Mars. On the lower, gloss black, and it sparkles into your LED fog lamps. 6 inches of clearance, front and rear parking assist with the automatic braking. Overhang for the front at 38.3, satin aluminum in the center, the new TNG AC platform, so it's going to have that wide stance. It's going to sit lower, 2 inches lower for the roof line, 15% better battery capacity than the prior gen. So you're getting a lot more, whether it's your MPGs, 0 to 60s, or performance, because this has the most horsepower any Prius has ever had. It actually goes to 26% better 0 to 60s, 7.2 seconds instead of the nearly 10 seconds that the prior gen got. This reworked 2.0 hybrid is just insane. 194 horsepower for the front wheel drive. All-wheel drive adds 2 more horsepower, in which you don't expect this. It really is reborn, all new, something that is going to be more rigid and yet athletic proportions on the exterior. 19-inch wheels, aluminum setup, machine finish. That gloss black goes around the fenders, and I like the two-tone look that it projects with the fenders and the paint color, the side view mirror cap, because it really looks more futuristic and more dramatic. I think what they're doing here is taking EVs or hybrids to another level. Because if you look at the Kia EV6, you have a similarity to the front, but the proportion layouts take an 80s vibe from the front grille, taking it into the back, 181.1 inches. The prior gen was 180 inches. We didn't have to go any longer. We just went wider, and in the interior you'll see more open. Standard is a 17-inch wheel, but I would definitely say go to the XLE or the Limited and get the 19-inch. It'll look very similar to the Prius Prime, which has over 200 horsepower, which is crazy because you don't expect these numbers from a Prius. LED tail lamps. That light bar goes all the way into the Toyota badging. Reminds me of the 1930 models because it's small and sleek. Prius badging on the window for the rear. They got some Easter eggs throughout too, which takes me to Ford, which is the company that actually started these Easter eggs. On the lower, that gloss black is going to take over. The rear overhang at 34.4. I don't expect to see any exhaust from a Prius, but this rear styling is also something I don't expect. The new badging for the HEV is going to be placed right underneath there proudly because this is a vehicle that gets 52 combined MPGs. It's the best in class compared to any vehicle, and this is not a plug-in hybrid. Non-power to get in to this 5th generation hatchback. It sets up a little bit. It's not as wide as the prior gen for the opening. 23.3 cubic feet. Underneath, you'll have a lot of storage compartments with the fix-a-flat split fold, the rear bench at a 40-60 split, increasing the cargo. And because it's not power, it's quick to close. Let's go inside, start up, so you can hear that exhaust note. Going inside the all-new Prius, headroom at 38 inches, legroom 43.2 inches. You're gonna sit lower because this is the new platform, and we're gonna lose some headroom because it has been lowered 2 inches from the prior gen. Soft tech trim seats, heated front seats. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver. Ventilated will be an option for the Limited. Interior ambient lighting starts off and it goes on the lower trim of the dashboard with a simulated carbon fiber look, climate control settings, and your heated front seat buttons with the air vents that run seamlessly through that pattern. And then it goes into another tier that goes onto the top of the dash. It's going to be the same traditional long dashboard as the prior generation, except now we get a 8-inch touchscreen, which when you go into the Limited, it's 12.3. It's optional 12.3 here with optional navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot. Put it into reverse. You have the reverse camera. The lines do not move. For the 360 degree, that's an option for the Limited. The first time ever, we have a gauge cluster. That's a 7-inch. That is standard on all trims. That can go through an array of information for the driver for different settings, your adaptive cruise control, turning on and off safety. In front of the steering wheel, you'll have that futuristic design with a 3-spoke steering wheel, and it's going to have a lot of buttons. Adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, multi-function to make and in calls, the stocks going into 2 USB ports, an A and a C, with a 12-volt storage pocket right here. You can open this up, and it's a deeper storage pocket. Close that up. Cup holders, I would say a 20-ounce can fit without any issues. The new key fob for the Prius, I like the badging that they put. It really makes it look a lot more expensive. The gear lever, the gloss black, matte black around, EV mode, wireless charging pad that just slides in around the gloss black. Driving modes. When you click into it, you have custom, sport, normal, eco. Go into the gauge cluster here and we will show you what the custom is all about. So we're going to go into the settings. In the custom, you can change all this for your powertrain, your steering, and even your air condition to make it normal or eco. It's going to be soft for your elbows, a little bit more pushback, 2 USB-C ports with a long storage pocket. It's just not so wide. I think they did a good job with the space that is in the front of the interior. The dashboard and the door panel integrate together, and I like how they do this sporty styling because everything just configures together seamlessly. Even though the windows are not large, they're long enough so there's no blind spots. Everyday material, pretty much everywhere except for where you rest your arms. One touch up and down for the front windows. Storage pocket with a beverage or bottle holder in the front, and you can fit maybe a medium flask. For the back seats, 36.4 inches of headroom, 34.8 inches of legroom, which is going to be a little bit better than the prior gen. The door panels integrate into the front door panels, which everything ultimately goes into the dashboard. Everyday materials are going to be found everywhere except for where you rest your arms. Smaller storage pocket that you can fit maybe a medium-sized flask. 2 USBs, storage behind only the passenger side. Sitting into the center headroom is going to be somewhat of an issue because of the way the actual roof is. It's lower 2 inches from the prior gen, so that's why it's going to be tight sitting in the center at 6'3". Leg space is going to be tight as well. I'm going to be against the back of the front seats in the position I'd be sitting, sharing feet, butt, and shoulder space. But the good thing here is the rails for the seats are pushed up enough that my feet can be a little bit more closer into the center. 192 horsepower out of a Prius. The Prime is over 200 horsepower. 7.2 seconds 0 to 60, 52 mpgs on the city, 52 mpgs on the highway. For the front wheel drive, it's 52 combined mpgs. It feels a lot better in the interior too. The sit, I like sitting down and I'm looking up with clearance 6 inches. So it's improved over the prior gen. The windscreen is obviously long, and the dashboard is as well. This is all standard Prius from the prior gen. The 5th gen takes it a little bit more though, because it's no more like a Tesla Derived where there's only one screen. We have a gauge cluster for the first time. 7 inches, that's standard. I like this a lot better because the prior gen, it was just a little empty. This feels futuristic for the steering wheel and the design, but it's not as empty. It's more cleaned up, more modern and hip. And that's what they were going after for this Japanese design for the 5th generation. We're going to see now, by putting it into sport, how much performance this really has. And here we go. Wow. All I can say is wow. You don't expect this performance numbers, because when I drove the prior generation of the Prius, it was slow. I mean, 9-10 seconds is basically what it is. This is a huge change. I mean, overall, for any auto industry to go to this extent shows that Toyota really wants to move forward, and this is truly born again. The way they're stressing it and everything about it. The exterior, I think they did a fabulous job. It's no more a vehicle where people are gonna say, oh, you got a Prius. Now, if you take this and you rent it or you buy one, it's actually cool. And you get so many MPGs, which, I mean, this is the first type of vehicle that started the hybrid technology. So for Toyota, again, going this extent, it's gonna take me to some things I like and dislike, and we're gonna get to that after we show you some more performance. It's not gonna be Mustang fast, don't get me wrong, but look at this thing. It's next level. The first thing that I like about the vehicle is they really have reconfigured every single thing. The new platform, the sit to it, it's gonna make it a little bit more noisy in the interior. Not much you can do about that. But it feels more dynamic in the drive. It does not feel like a Prius at all. The second thing that I like is now we have a gauge cluster. I'm tired of seeing vehicles with just one screen in the center. We're not in a boat. So I want a screen in front of me. That way I know that I have my lane keep assist, my adaptive cruise control, my speed, how much gas, all that good stuff. I need it in front of me. The last thing that I like, we didn't increase the length that dramatically. Only a little bit over an inch. We lowered the headliner or the roof by 2 inches. Doing this gives that smooth, racy look on the exterior. Obviously, you're gonna lose a little headroom, but it's still doable as you saw in the interior specs. Cargo is a hatch. This is a daily use vehicle, practical, and it's now fun to drive. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: you have to go to the limited trim in order to even option a 360-degree reverse camera, 12.3-inch touchscreen navigation. I mean, these are things that you can option the 12.3 in the XLE, but it would be nice to get the 360-degree reverse camera. Turn radius, it's a Prius. You're getting a tight turn radius, about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Now, obviously, driving it like this, you're not gonna get, 52 miles to the gallon. You might get 50. What more do you want? The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is you do lose a little bit of cargo. Not just because of the 2 inches that the roof line is lowered. The platform makes it a little bit less than the prior gen. So it's not gonna be as generous, but on the flip side, it's a hatch. So you still got sufficient amount of cargo. It's a green light, oh my God! Here we go! The last thing that I dislike is the engine is loud. The B-roll, for me, it's doable, but a lot of people are gonna say they don't like it because the B-roll doesn't do the same drive as the prior gen, in the sense of it will just do like a brake. Here, it just kind of glides. So you really can use the B-roll all the time, which is something that normally I would say don't even use it because it's just gonna hard brake. But if you really want to get regenerative braking, what you're gonna have to do is what I'm gonna illustrate right now, is slam on the brake. EV sound right now, engine. It's just very noisy. But again, when you're buying a Prius, you already expect it to have that note. It's going to be drone, but it has power behind it. So, I mean, it's hard to say anything bad about the new Prius. Comparing it to the new Honda Accord Hybrid, I did the touring just a little bit ago, which you can go to that. The interior sound deadening is going to be the best in that. The seat quality is just as good in this as it is in that. Here I feel very retro and sporty though, whereas that is just a little bit more grown up, and that's all derived because they're going for that Euro sportback design for the exterior, which looks similar to Volkswagen, Audi, and I like the styling. It is something to get a little used to. You will have to pay for applications though, in which in the Honda you will not. How does the adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist work? Well, you can check it out on my Facebook and Instagram. I do a reel. Sometimes I post YouTube shorts to show these features. It works okay. The lane keep assist obviously deactivates first, then the adaptive cruise control will more or less deactivate, and you'll have to take over because the car will start slowing down for you. Overall though, I'm pretty impressed with the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 that is implemented in here. Blind spot monitoring, it also helps. Blind spots, you're gonna have a few because of the exterior design, but nothing to be scared about because you're now getting 7.2 seconds 0 to 60. I'd like to thank Toyota of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2023 Toyota Prius XLE for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video on the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise website, Instagram, leave a comment and a like.